You know what's weird? Some some anime understands the feeling of gaming better than actual video games do. I'm not talking about graphics. I'm not talking about realism. I'm talking about the feeling. That feeling when you discover a broken build, that feeling when a boss finally clicks after destroying you for hours. I mean hours. I mean if you played Dark Souls or Elden Ring, you know what I'm talking about. That feeling when your progression actually feels earned, that feeling when a game becomes your entire personality for like 3 straight months. I got ADHD, bro. I be getting addicted. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna hold you. And we like solo leveling. BOFURI, I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. And Shangri-La Frontier somehow capture that better than a lot of modern AAA games. And I think the reason is simple. Gaming anime doesn't just copy games, it romanticizes the experience of being a gamer. It takes the mechanics we normally ignore and turns them into emotional moments. Leveling up becomes character growth, loot becomes achievement, boss fights become physiological battles, build crafting becomes identity, and honestly, that's genius. And this, in my opinion, this is why solo leveling works so well and why I think it's peak, even though some people hate on it and rag on it so much for being so simplistic, quote unquote. The anime understands one of the most addictive things in gaming: visible progression. Most anime protagonists start strong, even if they get stronger later. They usually already have talent, destiny, or hidden power. Jinwoo starts as pathetic, like he's a loser. Not anime pathetic, actually pathetic. He's weak, terrified, outclassed. People openly disrespect him. Bro, he's a bitch. They be bitching his ass. Aren't you the weakest? Aren't you the weakest one? Gang, don't we call you the weak one? Yeah. He survives because everyone else carries him, and that's important because it creates the exact same feeling as starting at a new RPG completely under leveled. The reason solo leveling feels satisfying isn't just because Jinwoo becomes powerful. It's because we watch every stage of progression happen. Every stat increase matters. Every entry level matters. Every skill unlock matters. And people will say there's no story building. There's no growth with the character. There's no, he just, one day he wakes up and he's OP and that's not cool. But we all watch One Punch Man and he's literally OP the entire anime and it's still peak. Bro, we be trying to hate, I'm not gonna lie. The anime basically weaponizes dopamine. Hey, we love a good dopamine weaponization. I'm not gonna lie. Because gamers are obsessed with progression systems. We love watching numbers go up. We love unlocking new abilities. We love becoming something stronger than we were 10 hours ago. Oh, bullshit. And solo leveling turns that into the entire foundation of the story. What makes it even smarter is how it treats grinding. Grinding in real games is repetitive. Grinding in solo leveling feels meaningful because every fight changes Jinwoo's mentality too. He becomes more confident, more ruthless, more strategic, more independent. The progression isn't just physical, it's physiological. And that's why people get addicted to watching it. Like me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not like me. It recreates that feeling of becoming better at a game over time, not just stronger, better. There's a huge difference. And another thing solo leveling understands is how gamers emotionally connect to rarity. Think about it. Gamers lose their minds over rare drops, legendary weapons, secret unlocks, hidden classes, and exclusive abilities. Most people outside gaming think that sounds stupid, but gamers understand immediately because rarity creates value through effort, and solo leveling constantly feeds that addiction. Every new summon, every shadow extraction, every dungeon clear, every title unlock. It feels like opening legendary loot after hours of grinding. And I mean, if you play anything, you know grinding is real. Fucking Path of Exiles, Diablo, I could go on, bro. But it is there. The anime basically understands MMORPG brain chemistry, and honestly, that's why people binge it so hard. And I don't know why you guys be hating it so much. I'm not gonna lie, you guys be hating on it. Now, BOFURI is completely different, but somehow just as accurate because BOFURI understands one of the funniest truths about gaming: players will always break the game if you let them. Maple is basically every chaotic player who accidentally creates an overpowered build by doing something completely stupid. And I can name a couple of ways that happens. You know, I play Smite a little bit, and I know I had some stupid builds back in Skyrim. And if you played enough games, you know this happens all the time. Developers create a balanced system, then players show up and say, "What if I put every single point into defense? What if I only use poison? What if I use this weird mechanic? And what if I stack buffs infinitely?" I will say they be trying to fix that shit, but and we always gonna find a loophole. Like I fucking I can't believe they nerfed my boy Pathfinder. That's not a build. It's not a building type of thing. But they nerfed Pathfinder, and I quit playing Apex. And suddenly the game collapses. You know what I'm saying? From all those buffs that you put on. Buffs. That's BOFURI. The reason people love Maple is because she plays games the way real people play games, not like a perfect competitive esport machine, not like an anime genius strategist. She experiments, she messes around, she gets distracted, she accidentally becomes terrifying, and that's relatable. Gaming is fun because of freedom. The best games allow creativity. That's why people spend thousands of hours in games like Minecraft, Skyrim, Elden Ring, or Baldur's Gate 3. Because, you know, I mean, I never played Baldur's Gate until the third one came out. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know what the hell it was. Maybe I'm a terrible gamer. Who knows? Not because they're trying to play perfectly though. You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to create their experience. And Bofuri understands that perfectly. Maple isn't strong because she's chosen by destiny. She's strong because the game rewards curiosity. That's an important distinction. The anime also captures something more gaming anime completely miss: community culture. Ufuri feels like an actual online game community. Players recognize famous builds, people talk about overpowered players, rumors spread, events happen, guild rivalries form. It feels alive. You know, I mean, if you ever go on like forums and shit, you, we'll see. People be talking about things. A lot of gaming anime forgets MMOs are social experiences. Before he remembers that the chaos of player interaction is the content, and honestly, that's why the show feels comforting. It reminds people of old online gaming experiences where communities actually mattered. Now, Shangri-La Frontier might honestly be the most realistic gaming anime ever made because it understands something most non-gamers will never understand. Some people genuinely love difficult games, not because they hate themselves, not because they were a pain, they want pain, not because they want pain, because overcoming difficulty creates satisfaction. Yes, that is true. I am not one of those people who is a masochist gamer, but I do know quite a few of you out there love all the Souls-like games and love to be like, I beat this guy with just a mace. You know, I spent 15 minutes beating the first boss half naked and just having a shield. Main character doesn't even start with the amazing game. He starts by intentionally playing terrible, broken games. And if you're a real gamer, that immediately makes sense because experienced gamers sometimes enjoy chaos. They enjoy mastering garbage mechanics. They enjoy exploit systems. They enjoy learning difficult patterns. That mindset transfers directly into Shangri-La Frontier. And when the main character enters the game, he approaches it like a real high level player would. He studies enemy patterns, he experiments with movement, he adapts constantly, he values information. He's basically a nerd. And the anime actually respects game mechanics. That's rare. I'm not going to lie. A lot of the animes, I don't even know if they know what a game is. Most gaming anime fake their systems. Shangri-La Frontier feels like somebody actually played MMOs before writing it. Even the boss fights feel different. They don't feel like anime fights pretending to be game fights. They feel like real raid encounters, learning patterns, reacting under pressure, understanding mechanics, optimizing movement, reading attack, timing. It captures the flow state gamers chase, that feeling where you stop consciously thinking and just lock in. Every serious gamer knows that feeling. You know what I'm saying? You know, you watch a couple of videos, you figure out the patterns on Monster Hunter type shit. I used to do it. I haven't played Monster Hunter in a while, but I used to do it all the damn time. And Shangri-La Frontier visualizes it perfectly. I'm not gonna lie. And there's a reason why gaming anime is addicting to me. Some people are like, "Oh, it's so annoying, bro. So annoying. They keep doing this anime gaming system." I'm addicted to games. I'm addicted to gaming anime. I can't lie to you, bro. I like them. I've watched them all. I don't like them all, but I like most of them. Gaming systems are naturally satisfying storytelling tools. Think about traditional stories for a second. A normal story has to convince you the character is growing. Gaming anime shows you the growth directly: levels, stats, skills, equipment, achievement. Progression becomes measurable, and humans love measurable progress. That's why RPG systems are addictive in the first place. They constantly reward you with a visible improvement. Gaming anime basically combines that dopamine loop with emotional storytelling, which is an insanely powerful combination. But there's another reason these shows hit so hard right now. Modern gaming has changed. A lot of AAA games today feel corporate, over-designed, over-monetized, built around battle passes and engagement metrics, but gaming anime recreates the fantasy of what gaming feels like in your memory, not the frustration, not the toxic players, not the microtransactions, the magic, the obsession, the immersion, the discovery. That's why people connect to these shows emotionally. They remind people why they fell in love with gaming in the first place. Now, obviously, power fantasy plays a huge role too, but I think people oversimplify that. People say, oh, gamers just like overpowered protagonists. The important part isn't being overpowered, it's earning mastery. There's a huge physiological difference. Emu becoming stronger works because we watched him struggle first. Maple becoming broken works because it came from experimentation. Shangri-La Frontier works because the main character's skill feels believable. Gaming anime succeeds when the power feels connected to systems. That's why random overpowered protagonists fail so often. Without progression, there's no satisfaction. Gamers don't just want strength, they want development. That's why progression fantasy has exploded everywhere. Anime, manhwa, light novels, web novels, even Western fiction. People are addicted to watching improvement because improvement is hopeful. You know what I'm saying? It really is, bro. I wish my life was like a fucking video game. Oh, and and honestly, I think gaming anime is only going to keep getting bigger. It won't fall off like some of y'all want it to. I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait. Uh, uh, uh. Because modern entertainment is becoming more interactive psychologically. Younger audiences grew up with progression systems everywhere: games, apps, social media, achievements, ranks, battle passes, skill trees. We naturally understand game logic now. So when anime uses gaming logic, it instantly feels intuitive. And then and these stories also solve a huge pacing problem. Traditional fantasy can feel vague. Gaming systems create structure, clear goals, clear progression, clear stakes. The audience always understands what's happening. That's powerful storytelling design. And honestly, some of the most exciting anime right now are built around these ideas. Because progression is universally satisfying, watching somebody climb from weak to powerful will never stop being entertaining if it's done correctly. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, gaming anime succeeds because it understands gamers emotionally, not just mechanically. It understands the excitement of discovery, the obsession with optimization, the pride of mystery, the addiction to progression, the satisfaction of overcoming impossible odds. These anime don't just copy video games, they capture the emotional fantasy of gaming, the version of gaming we remember at 3 a.m., grinding with friends, the version where every boss felt legendary, the version where discovering a new build felt like life changing, the version where games felt magical. And honestly, that's why anime is like Solo Leveling, BOFURI, and Shangri-La Frontier resonates so hard. Because beneath all the stats and abilities, they remind people why gaming was special to begin with. If this is your first time coming to the channel, you made it this fucking far, brother. Drop me a subscribe, hit a like button, you know what I'm saying? Tell me I'm a bitch in the comments. I don't care what you do, but do something, interact with me, my boy. I appreciate you watching the whole video. I'm going to talk about gaming and anime on this channel quite a bit. I appreciate all the support, man. Love.